So I had this customer come to me. They wanted their car essentially to be reliable, turbocharged, not leaking a single drop of oil, literally not a single problem. Wanted the goal of over 200 horsepower. Car was running around 80 to 90 horsepower when it was brought to me. What we've done is over the last month in my shop, built by Kyle, we have essentially rebuilt this entire car. Started with removing the whole motor and the box, separating those and taking the entire engine apart to then reassess the proper condition of the motor and where we needed to go from there. Once I had the motor fully apart, I could properly assess what needed to be done from there. We ended up doing bearings, rings, and a hone, which made for really great compression once it was done. We went for a Kraken low mount turbo kit. So if you don't know who Kraken is, they make all the best turbo kits, essentially in my opinion. We're running 960cc injectors with a 2860 turbo. Now it's really interesting that this particular customer wanted a car that felt like a normal daily driving car when you take it outside on the weekend until you get up in the RPM range. So how we've set this up with this particular size turbo is until you're hitting at least 5,500 RPMs, this feels like a normal stock car, like it rolled off factory floor, which is really cool. And once you hit over that line of RPM, it's just flat foot and it just sends you. It's really cool. So we ended up with, I think, around 206 to 208 horsepower out of this, which the customer's goal was between 195 to 205. Really just wanted over 200. It's got a full 3-inch exhaust, 2.5-inch cooler piping. We are running a blow-off valve, so we don't have any of the choo-choo noises. Now, the customer did opt for power steering. Did want AC, but I advised him probably wasn't the best idea, meaning just come have a look at this, how tight the cooler piping routes with the power steering in these, especially with the low mount manifold and the bigger turbo. So we went for just power steering, which honestly makes this car a proper dream to drive. It turns on, runs and starts and drives like it rolled off factory floor. So much nicer than my drift car, the purple one, if you're familiar with it. Honestly, I wish this was my car and then I can give him that one because this one's way nicer. But yeah, it makes all the right noises. It sounds really cool. It was in the shop for a total of just over a month, and that includes all the electronics, ECU, tuning. We went with a Link plug and play ECU, but besides from that, that's pretty much all there is to it. Bunch of really like small upgrades that you'd never even think about. We did big rad, big fans, clutch, machine the flywheel. It's kind of endless. There's a crazy amount of stuff that you can do to these motors. We also opted for a coolant reroute because you pretty much have to on these cars. But we're gonna go take this car out for a drive now, and I'm gonna show you how it drives and how it sounds, because I'm super happy with it, and I'm sure the customer will be too. So right now the motor's dead cold, just to show you proof, touching the turbo manifold. The car's dead cold. We're gonna turn it on now just to show you how well the fueling and the ignition timing's been tuned on this motor, because it starts and runs and drives and idles like no tomorrow. So I'm gonna turn it on. We'll see how it starts up. All right, we're gonna start it up. Ready? And then you compare that to my car, which is like ram, and it just dies. So awesome how this turned out as a turnkey build, drive in, drive out. So let's take it for a drive and have a listen. When I'm driving it just normally and it's still cold and we've got power steering, the car honestly just drives like a stock and it drives amazingly. It's very easy to steer. The idle control is very smooth. Even when you punch it to wide open throttle, it responds. It's very cool. Now for 3,000 RPM in my car, we'd be on boost. Right now we're making no boost. So once I start climbing the revs, you can start feeling it pick up, but not dramatically. And once we get up to 5,000, it just flies and it feels incredible. Like it's freaking wicked. I'm not the biggest fan of blow-off valves, like how they just go. I much prefer the choo-choo, but it's pretty cool.
smooth.